So today's topic for revision is story writing. Children, first of all, we have to remember that the opening of a story should normally tell the reader where and when the story is set, means setting of the story. Then who the characters are. After that, we have to look for the characters. Then the style and mood of this story. Now if we talk about setting, if you think about setting, what is a setting? A setting is where the story takes place. Setting means the place where the story takes place. It could be anywhere. For example, maybe a cottage, haunted house, or even the park. Now let's move towards characters. Characters are the people or animals in a story. The main character is the most important character in the story. After that, we will move towards mood, tone, style, and imagery. Now, what is mood? Mood means overall feeling in a story. Means what kind of feeling there is in the story. Dark, happy, gloomy. And tone? Clues that tell writer's attitude about the subject of the story. And style, unique way the author tells the story. And imagery, words or word pictures, writers use that. Imagery means the word pictures which the word pictures which the writer use that help reader imagine smell, sight, taste and sounds in story. Because see, we cannot realize these things after tasting something in the story, right? We can imagine smells, sights, tastes and sounds of the story with the help of word pictures only, right? Which an author uses while writing a story. Example, the smell of the crisp bacon sizzling on the stove wafted through the house. Now after reading this line, you can start imagining about the crisp bacon, alright? And you must be thinking about its smell if you have had it before. Now, if we have to write a story, we have to keep many things in mind. So first of all, there is writing an excellent story. These question words are very important when writing stories. See, we all want to write a nice story, right? But to write an excellent story, we have to keep few question words in mind. And what are these? These question words are very important whenever we write any story, like who, what, how, where, when, and why. See, example is given with the help of color code here. The little girl ran quickly to the shop to get some bread at 7 a.m. so her mom can make toast. Now who? The little girl. What? Ran quickly. How? Who? The little girl. How? Ran quickly. Where? To the shop. When? Obviously to the when? She will. The time is mentioned over here at 7 a.m. right? And why? To get some bread, right? So you can see the example with the help of color code. Now we have one storyboard here. Storyboards help you to plan a story without writing it at all. If you have to plan a story, see, whenever you write any story, before writing that, you plan that in your mind, right? So there are many things which you have to keep in mind. First is opening, then setting, characters, problem, how it is solved, and the ending. Now see, what makes a good ending? We think that it's just an ending. We have already written a big part of this story, so why to think a lot about ending? But it's only ending which makes a story perfect, right? And what makes a good ending? It echoes the beginning. It brings a story full circle. It solves the problem. It contains dialogue. It brings out meaning, which is a realization, reflection, or lesson. It tells about feelings. That's why good ending is very important. Now, main points for writing a story. You can see here we have main points to write a story. First is read the outline very carefully and understand it. If you get outline to write or to develop a story, so first of all you have to read the outline very carefully and understand it. Next, be sure to get hold of important words and phrases in the story. Third, don't change the story, only reproduce it. If outline is already given here, so don't try to change the story, just reproduce it. Do a good use of that outline, right? Take special care to bring out clearly the chief points or the main points of interest in the story. So focus on the main points of the story. Whenever possible, introduce a dialogue or a conversation. If it is possible for you to introduce any dialogue or conversation between the story, then you can do that. Number 6, as far as possible, write the story in the past. You know that story is something which has already happened, which you describe, that only you describe, right? So it's better if you try to write it in past only, past tense only. Number 7, a suitable title may be fixed if it is not already given. If title of this story is not already given, then you can write a suitable and appropriate title for this story. 8th, at the end, moral of this story is very important. The moral of this story, if any, may be given. Because if you give moral of this story, then it shows that yes, your story gives some moral. Now children, here we have one example. You can see the outlines are given here. For a story, you have to develop a story based on these outlines.